Okay. Let's find out who's really under this mask. Verna Jandaroba? Thank you for the $5. Impression of Connor opening a farm in Arkansas. Yeah, me. Bryce, you're going to have to look after me chickens at the end of the day, Louis. Thank you for the £2. Bryce, I never dabbled in witchcraft, Mitchell. True. Witchcraft was never his friend. That comment was great. It was sheep herder. Okay, I'm caught up. Why did it feel like you ended the Bryce interview early? He seemed like he wanted to keep talking. No, he did, but he had training. And he ended up saying something afterwards, but then but it was just like off the record conversation type. Casual talk. I don't know. I ended that Bryce interview, wanted to go for a run. I lifted immediately afterwards. I hit chest and tries. First time I've cared about an MMA fighter interview, it was good. Listening back to your other stream, I see what you mean with Ilya at lightweight, but don't you think his background in wrestling and height would help him do better compared to Poirier in the grappling? I feel like his shortness would help in initial takedown defense. It would help in the initial takedown defense, but I think eventually you're going to get tangled up in some level of grappling exchange. It's easier said than done to just shuck off any type of grappling exchange with Islam Makhachev, man. You don't think he's understanding of the fact that someone could get underhooks on him early? What's your favorite Christian denomination? Brothers of the Sword. Great interview, brother. That cheap land in Arkansas, not the worst idea. That shit don't exist in New York. Can't wait for fishing with Bryce. Dude, I'm going to do fishing with Bryce, 100%. Since Bryce deemed you a real journalist when in Arkansas, will you seek out the other side of his redemption story from his vandalous ex, the white magic woman? I don't want to go anywhere near that witch in case she puts a hex on me. I'll be honest with you. So no, I won't be seeking out the other side of the story. I'm going to take Bryce's word for it. Thank you for the $10. That's the word of Bryce right there. At one point, Bryce Mitchell in the interview said, that ain't the word of Bryce. That's the word of Jesus Christ. And I was like, yeah. So I'm actually going to take the word of Bryce and consider her a witch. I'm not going anywhere near her. Especially not with my tomato plants. Fuck her. Bryce Mitchell, 314 by tomato plants. True. Thank you for the €2. Did you see Kanye's most recent interview with DJ Academics? He's wearing a grey Triple K hood. I know, yeah. Thank you for the $7 Canadian. I did see that, but I didn't watch it. But I saw it on Twitter, a picture of it. W Bible read-through plans. Bryce is affecting you. I owe it a read-through after the interview, dude. He inspired me. Bryce interview was quality stuff. Felt like it was too short, though. Impression of Bryce after God turns his back on Arkansas during your... No, all right. Thank you for the $5. He ain't going to do that. Thank you for the 5. I got to save some stuff to talk to him about soon. You know? Impression of Bryce luring you to the trough with his tomatoes to get you plump for the skewer roast. Okay, thank you for the $5. Here, piggy, 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 piggy. You know what's funny? Someone put it in the comments. He was actually looking for a boar. He needed a breeding pig for his farm. And he was posting that on his Instagram the day before the interview. And then here I am. Reading, can you get an interview with El Disgustio? I don't think I'll be able to get an interview with El Disgusto. Impression of Dana calling Top H the pound-for-pound greatest leader of all time when asked about Trump. You know, 6 million at the gate. You know, more like 270K. I mean, what's not to love here, you know? I got to sign him. Is Dana alive? Okay, let me check. It's probably a lie. Oh, no, he is. Ian Garry Carlos Prates has been announced. Your donos are getting ignored. Ian Garry Carlos Prates. What's the, where is it being fought? Kansas City main event? What else? 316. O'Malley Merab 2 is my guess. New Jersey, O'Malley Merab 2. Merab, O'Malley 2. I told you. I knew it was going to be that. I knew it before. And I actually said it on Tim Welch's show. Merab O'Malley 2. Co-main event. Oh, who cares? Who cares about Pena Harrison? Shut up, fat cunt. Give us some real fucking news. What else? That's it! Alright. Weak ass news, dude. If Prates didn't lose his opponent, that would have just been an O'Malley title fight announcement. We already fucking knew that. Respect to Ian Garry for taking the Prates fight. That's pretty cool. Typholet and Bryce speak freely. Big respect from here in the States. This is why we have the First Amendment and it's dear to our hearts. True. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Impression of Bryce catching Ariel clipping his belt after becoming champ. Well, they got a bunch of ridges on there. He said he's going to mog me, Michael Bisping. Thank you for the $2. Oh, yeah, Bisping said that about me. You know Shevchenko got a thick clit. All right, thank you for the 2. Outfits to wear for Bryce fight is Jesus or Big H. I don't know about that. Maybe a Hugo Boss design. Have you seen the new sparring footage of Huffy? Bro is on another level. That shin to face kick from the inside clinch was insane. Yes, I did see the crescent kick. Shin to face kick from inside the clinch. Yes, I saw the crescent kick that he went for, Alex Kaiser. Appreciate the 5. Yes, I did. It was good. The other one was old footage, though, that they reposted. But that kick was crazy. That sounded like it had a lot of snap on it, too. You and Bryce podcast was like a Socrates and Aristotle. Okay. Thank you for the $2. I'll take it. Can you imagine after all this Christianity talk with Bryce, you go to Arkansas as a Muslim? He might... I'm not a Muslim. Thank you for the $5 Australian. Why? Who do you think is the best prospect at lightweight right now? I'm hoping for a Rebecca redemption arc. He's on a win streak. Thank you for the 9 months of membership. Best prospect, Ignacio Bahamondes. Joel Alvarez is a great prospect as well. I think Ludovic Klein's very underrated. A few of those. I appreciate the $5, Vincent Boogaloo. Appreciate that. Do you actually hate Dagestani fighters? I mean, I hate fighters that annoy me. Makashev's pretty cool, though. Thank you for the 20 SAR. Appreciate that. I'm going with Islam Makhachev over Topuria. Impression of Arkansas Guru casting white magic spells. See cow. Thank you for the $3. If they make Jan Umar, I'll crash out so hard. They're going to make Jan Umar as the main event of UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi in July. I hate to break it to you. Thoughts on Lo Pen being banned from the election? Marine Le Pen, is that what you're saying? Thank you for the $2. I don't know about the full story of that. Gary gonna lay and pray Prates. Yeah, she get banned from the election or something like that? They well, in European Parliament, multiple parties can group up against one and override it if it doesn't have a vast majority. There's no democracy in Europe, and there never has been. Thank you for the 2. Gary gonna lay and pray Prates. Thank you for the $2, dude. All they have to do in the, Europe is if a party's like for the natives, then they just say that they're like Russian, paid off Russian intelligence, and all of a sudden there's no party for the natives of the UK. Thank you for the 2. Harrison versus Pena announcement was more exciting than main event announcement. No, it wasn't. Huge announcement when better be John versus Tom or Ilya's next venture. By the way, 314 has all fun fights, and it's super underhyped. Hype it, oink. No, I've been hyping up 314. What do you think I'm doing with this Bryce Mitchell shit? Thank you for the €6. Why is Sean getting an instant title shot after one defense against Vera? Merab Loki more fun champion and not a cuck. Because the only reason I didn't like Merab versus O'Malley 2 is because I really like the idea of Merab versus Pantoja. But if you look at the bantamweight division, who else is there to give? Who else is there to give Merab right now other than Peter Yan? And Peter Yan's Merab fight was way less competitive than the O'Malley fight with Merab, so that's the only reason I accept it. So many fights to be sorted out and big fights we are waiting for, and Dana hypes up an announcement just to give us 2 fights no one really cares about. I mean, it was a bit uneventful, but I'll cover it regardless. Hi, thanks for the laughs. Impression of Dana getting drone striked. Oh! That's the noise you would make before death, I think. What? She was destroying my tomatoes. She was destroying my tomato plants. It's the Le Pen stuff is BS. I know. I think so as well. If Prates KOs Garry out cold, you have to do the Guru Shuffle on stream. Also, shout out to Mike Lange for the gifted sub. Yeah. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate that. Have you seen the football team got banned, or they face a risk if it happens again to get their entire what's it called? It was on TalkSport today. I was hearing it today. Rangers football team or some shit like that, or Celtics. They had a sign in the crowd called Defend Europe, and they face being banned as a that whole section of seating to be banned, basically. And they could face fines and shit like that for saying Defend Europe in the crowd. It's pretty funny. No foreign woke ideologies, Defend Europe, and they're gonna get banned for it. So it's pretty interesting. That's Rangers. It was Rangers. There you go. Thank you for the 5. If Prates KOs Garry out cold, you have to do the Guru Shuffle on stream. Also, shout out to Mike Lange for I've already read it for the gifted sub. There you go. You got one. Thank you, Mike Lange. Prates KOs Garry out cold. You have to do the Guru Shuffle on stream. I don't think I have to do anything, but maybe. I'll put it on a maybe. Like, you know how, what's it called? Dave Blunts is saying that he might jump into the crowd and stage dive. What to do with Jeff Neal now? I had him winning against Prates. Fuck him. Thank you very much for the $5, dude. Couldn't care less. He's always a flop. Whenever the big fights happen, he fucking fumbles or he don't show up. Sick of him. No, but what to really do with Jeff Neal? I mean, I don't mind the idea of, like, if Holland wins again at welterweight, they could do a Jeff Neal Kevin Holland rematch. Because Holland did beat him before by TKO. So that's how you could justify putting Holland back into the rankings at 170. Shit, maybe the loot. I don't know what they would do with Jeff Neal. Wonderboy already beat him, which is weird because Wonderboy's below him in the rankings. MVP. I saw the clips of the Francis, Tom, and Giddy stuff the other day. Funniest shit ever. That might be top 3, and it ain't 3. There you go. Thank you for the 16 months. What do you mean, and Giddy? John Jones? Thank you for the 16. Oh, okay, that shit. The clip from my stream, yeah. Thank you for the 2. Yeah, it was a good one. Thank you for the 16 months. This year is much worse than the last. UFC shit right now. Well, International Fight Week's coming up, so we'll get some big fights soon. Went to Ireland, and truly no one likes Conor. Crazy. I know, dude. They're all lame as fuck. They want to go extinct. English colonialists wanted to make Irish people extinct for about fucking thousands of years. And all they needed to do in reality was fucking pour in third world people and let women vote. It's crazy. Why does Justin Gay Cheeks get 50k for being sloppy? I don't know. Thank you for the $3 Australian. I don't know why Justin Gay Cheeks gets 50k for being sloppy. I mean, they're all fun fights. I don't mind Gaethje getting paid an extra 50k a fight. What was Dana's announcement? Was it that he's now only paying fighters to hunt down the legendary El Disgusto? Yes, they are paying people to hunt down El Disgusto, yeah. McGregor is a degenerate, but so is every Irish person. Oh no, McGregor snorts cocaine, does drugs, drinks beer, gets into bar fights with grown men, and potentially rapes a woman. Oh no, he's the average Irish guy? That's crazy, man. Bro should be a fucking mascot for Ireland. The fuck? Retard on social media and potentially rape someone? That's as Irish as it gets, as far as I'm concerned. No, but most Irish people are fucking F-words right now. So I get it. Ireland's changed a bit, you know what I'm saying? They're a bit weak. They're weak as fuck. Pussy-ass country, bro. Why does Justin Gaethje get 50k? I don't know. What was Dana's announcement? Was it that he's now only paying, I've read this, Lang. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate that. You said Ilya was our final weapon. Why switch? Because I thought about it, and now I'm changing my mind based on the fights that I've seen of Ilya. Weeding out corruption. I don't know if I've changed my mind. I was just talking about the other side of the argument. Weeding out corruption is a good thing, Tubby. Thank you for the 2. I think Garry wins. He can match his frame, but they only seem to weed out corruption when it benefits the native population of the country. I think Garry wins. He can match his frame and out-grapple Prates. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate the 5. Yeah, Garry could win. I doubt it, though. I reckon he gets caught and smoked. Also, did you see that you made Mac Life? Did I make the Mac Life? Why? What was it for the Bryce Mitchell interview? Return of the Mac once again. Oh, come on. Oh, my God. And I made it out the door. Once again. He's never been to space. Oh, that's what they took from it. Via MMA Guru. That's the only quote they took from the entire Bryce Mitchell interview. Space doesn't exist. Elon's never been to space. Space doesn't exist. That's the only thing they could possibly quote from it. Just hate mongering Bryce, dude. Absolute satanic company, dude. Fuck McGregor. I hope he never gets a chance to run for Ireland. No wonder Irish people fucking hate him. Fuck him, dude. Fuck that whole fucking thing. That's the only thing they took from that entire interview. It's fucking lamest shit they possibly could have took. Whatever, man. Fucking lames. That's why they're irrelevant. Also, did you see that you... just remember, space ain't real. Yeah, that's what I just read from Bryce. I didn't even notice he said that, by the way. How well do you think Garry... I was too focused on him talking about his tomato plants. How well do you think Garry will be able to implement his wrestling against Prates? How well do I think Ian Garry will be able to implement his wrestling against Prates? I don't think he will. Thank you for the $5. I don't think Ian Garry's going to be able to implement his offensive wrestling against Carlos Prates. I love Bryce, but listening to him talk in your interview made me realize if people like him were in charge, humanity would have never left the caves. Thank you for the $5. What do you mean never left the caves? I don't think they would have never left the caves. They would have just stuck to a more simple mindset. Thank you for the $5. You think people like Bryce in charge? I think it'd be better if we had people like Bryce in charge than the people that are currently in charge of these countries. We got kids that don't know what gender they are trying to chop off their private parts, encouraged by their parents to do so. But people that think like Bryce are the problem. That's what I don't understand about people that just shun Bryce massively. It's kind of insane. Shoving dicks up their arse, like parading about it in front of children, people dressing up in drag in front of kids. But Bryce's opinions are the problem in society and he should never be able to be in charge. Y'all got your priorities off. Way off. Way, way off. Got people stabbing each other to death in the streets. Yeah, I mean, shooting each other in American inner cities. Are people like Bryce being in charge is the problem because what? Space ain't real to him? I'll take a guy who believes space ain't real over a lot of the opinions of the current people in charge of Western countries, brother. Thank you very much for the $2. You make Connor sound like a more successful Till. There you go. Thank you for the 2. You can't call all Irish grapists. That's nasty. I'm sorry. Thank you for the 2. Well, they are. I don't know. There seems to be more of them arriving in Ireland every day. Just got here. Isn't Dana's announcement April Fool's? No, it's not. Potentially Iron Women is a lot of work there. I don't know. Thank you for the 5. Backpack. Well, shut up. Don't say that. Backpacky and Garry incoming? I don't think so. Also, O'Malley does better, but still loses to Merab. Okay. Thank you for the $5. I'm going to go with Prates catching him. Garry could win, though. I saw Merab O'Malley announce. We knew it, though. You know what? I actually predicted it on Tim Welch's pod, and he went weird and awkward on me. So that's going to age really well when he posts that. Thank you for the $5. Did Dana do his live yet? Yes, he did. It's O'Malley Merab 2, Pena versus Harrison, and Pena Harrison and Magny. No, not Magny. Carlos Prates versus Ian Garry. Thank you for the membership, BMW fanboy. Appreciate the membership, dude. Will Sean win a rematch? Yeah, he could. Thank you for the 2. He could do. I don't know. I'll have to think about it as a rematch. Maybe. Jailton Almeida versus Volkov in the works for UFC Fight Night Atlanta in June. How is that? So what is Cyril Gane then, man? I hate that Cyril Gane gets such a free ride in the division. Cut him from the fucking sport, the fucking French, it seems like, dude. So what the fuck is Cyril Gane doing then? Who's he going to fight? Pavlovich, maybe? That's a good fight. Maybe it's Pavlovich. Mike Harrington confirmed versus Juliana Pena. True. Thank you for the 6 months of membership. He's not French. He is. That's the new French. Cope with it. Thank you for the 6 months of membership. He's not French. A majority of French people right now. Garn should go to PFL. Okay. What the fuck do you see at heavyweight, honestly? What the fuck do I see at heavyweight? I don't see anything at heavyweight right now. There's hype, but I guess they're going to do Garn versus Pavlovich. Sergey Pavlovich, he's a great fighter. I'd love to fight him. Rip France, indeed. Garn versus Jones 2. Book it. Okay. Okay. No. Never. I had a big chuckle when you stuck in those little guys in the crowd. I was sneaking stuff in on the Bryce interview for sure. Tony versus Habib is off. Tony tripped on a cable. What the fuck? True. Thank you for the 2 New Zealand dollars. Appreciate you. Yeah, you're a bit off on the time. But that was on April Fools, wasn't it? That's crazy that that was on April Fools. Wow. That is actually crazy that that was on April Fools. How much do you weigh? I think about 246 right now. I'm pretty yoked right now, dude. You're such a fucking hoe. I love it. Build a house with Bryce in Arkansas and go fishing. Maybe. Thank you for the $2. Jones versus Miocic 2. Aspinall stripped of interim championship. Yes. Thank you for the $2. I could see that. I could actually see that. Impression of you coping about Tony Ferguson? No. I don't like that guys like Bryce are representatives for us notices. I know some of them are the... Yeah, it's tough, but it's all good. Motherfuckers are flat earther, makes us all seem dumb and crazy even though we're right. It doesn't make us all seem dumb and crazy. There's a lot of notices that aren't in Bryce's way inclined, I'd say. Thank you for the 2 months of membership. Do you believe Bryce's possessed girlfriend story? That's the most believable thing he said. I actually believe the possessed girlfriend thing from Bryce Mitchell. I really do. Jeezy peeps, I'm so happy for Ian Garry. It's a good stuff. It's a good fucking fight. If O'Malley loses again, do you think he'll retire or move up? Doesn't seem like he's content being a gatekeeper. Sure. Thank you for the $5. Doesn't seem like he's content being a gatekeeper. I don't know if he retires or... He might retire. I don't think he would go back to fighting contenders. But it depends on the matchups that would be there for him. If Aldo was coming off a win or Sandhagen. I mean, there's big matchups for him still. Maybe featherweight could be a move for him, though. You know? O'Malley at featherweight versus like a Diego Lopez. It could get interesting. You watch new Kanye interview? No. No, I didn't. I saw a picture of it on Twitter and got the gist of everything that would be said. No, I don't watch shit like that. Thank you for the $2. I don't really watch any mainstream content on YouTube. Instead, I watched Kurt Kaz's new video. Well, at least half of it. I watched Kurt Kaz's new video. I investigated a Jewish cult in Guatemala. Now this is content. Sign me up, dude. Of course you did. Yeah, I watched the first, how many minutes? 17 minutes of it. I'm going to get to the investigating a Jewish cult bit later. Thank you for the $2. Piggy only does white magic. True. That's another word for cocaine. How are you today? I'm doing good, brother. Yeah, Tapuri is getting pretty corny with his El Legenda. Whatever he is. Fucking bitch. He needs to shut his mouth. The mad bitch of a thing, eh? So what else could they add to that Newark, New Jersey card? Thank you for the $2 Canadian. Merab O'Malley 2, reeks of Pereira Adesanya 2. Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully O'Malley wins it. I'd like to have O'Malley at the top again. What does you lot mean? Like you guys. Help me, Guru. Thank you for the $2. With what? Impression of yourself after Paddy gets knocked out cold by back of the head shots. Lad, Chandler needs to stop cheating, lad. And adopting as well, lad. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate the 5. Pimlet's got it in the fucking bag, brother. Ba, 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 ba. I know, I don't know how you don't understand you lot on the context of it, yeah. Thank you for the $100, Mark. People are still quoting that. I appreciate the 100. Hopefully Pavlovich avenges that bullshit decision. To who? Oh, Garn over Volkov. Yeah, I know what you mean. I was going to say, Pavlovich did not beat Volkov. What the fuck? But he has a better chance of beating Garn. Of finishing him, at least. Than he does Volkov. Who you got him? Because Volkov's better than Garn. That's just the truth. Who you got in Prates versus Garry? I have Prates. Thank you for the $2. Un Pratesio. A Prates caiao. We've got Prates. I do. Indeed. The longer John delays, the more Tom's bad leg decays. Okay. Thank you for the rhyme there, Arrow810. Long-time supporter of the channel. I appreciate the rhythmical rhyme. Thanks. Oh, Bruno Silva, Joshua Van. A few sneaky ones. I like Merab, but O'Malley's better for the sport. And the idea of a trilogy ain't too bad either. You know what I mean? Just to keep things busy while we figure out the rest of bantamweight right now. Because otherwise, if Merab beats O'Malley, I bet you Umar will get a title shot on a 1-fight win streak again. You know what I mean? You think some of your back of the head shot calls are off? No. The fact Jones vacated the light heavyweight title and retired for 3 years because his only fights were Reyes 2 or Francis is crazy, I know. And people think he ain't ducking Tom. He's pathetic. He really, really is a pathetic bitch. Thank you for the £5, Darren Holmes. Impression of Dana White confusing Kayla for a man in the press conference. This dude, he's tough. There's shoulders on this kid. Thank you for the 20 Mexican dollars. You think Prates finishes Garry? I do think so, yeah. Thank you for the $2. What is this? It couldn't be... Yeah, thank you for the £2. We're trying to talk about the fight announcements. Impression of John coming out to Tom mid-fight. God, we steer away from it from a second. We're back in. John coming out to Tom mid-fight. I love you. Does Garry clinch and run away like he did versus Jeff Neal? Jeff Neal was the one forcing the clinch on Ian Garry. Thank you for the $2. Seen Luke Thomas tweet about therapy, little fairy. I think he just lost his mum or some shit like that. So maybe we shouldn't be piling on to Luke Thomas. It depends what his context was. I don't know. He's banned me. Or blocked me, I guess, on Twitter. I can't see it. Sup, Guru. I get off at 5. What's your favorite impression? Anything I haven't done in ages is my favorite impression.